In this month's episode, we have our final look at the recent Automechanika show in Birmingham with the car expert Edd China. Henry from Ring and Osram talks to us about new products on their stand, and Hella take us through what they were promoting to the industry at the show. We then head to Oldfields Garage to see their recent expansion, and RMS Diagnostics show us their complete solution to a tricky issue. Napa go back to Coleg in Wales to show how they're appealing to the future generation. We caught up with Nathan from Walsall Wood Garage about the importance of attending industry events. We see how Autowave are bringing their expertise to key cloning for all the right reasons. And we end with Niterra's reveal of a Formula 1 car at Automechanika. First up, we have Edd China.
Ed, another show, and we see you promote the aftermarket.
Yes.
We know how important the aftermarket is to you. Tell us why.
Well, it's an interesting thing. I'm here on the Bosch stand, obviously, for most of this show, and it's really quite important, I guess, that as the cars get more and more complicated, obviously one of the things is actually maintain them and look after them, and of course, obviously, the aftermarket, I guess, is part of how that's going to happen. Obviously, the OEMs, I guess, are getting a little bit more possessive, it seems, as time goes on, and then sort of like stopping you from working there. And of course, the aftermarket have then got to go around the other way, making it more affordable. I mean, there are so many sort of mechanics here, sort of garages here, that actually wouldn't be able to survive if they were having to work with sort of main dealer sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Or if they didn't have that access. So really, the aftermarket is obviously what keeps all that kind of alive. And frankly, for customers around the country, when stuff is tight, actually, you want to go aftermarket perhaps more than, it could be OEM quality, but it doesn't want to necessarily be OEM stuff.
And of course, you've just mentioned a prevalent point is the fact that the aftermarket is changing. What change do you see, and what benefits are we seeing for that change?
Well, I think the most obvious thing is EV. It's this high voltage. I mean, so I, again, as part of the Bosch stuff we've been doing, we did one of their courses, so I'm now kind of level 4 qualified to do EVs, which is where you actually get in kind of down and dirty with all the batteries and stuff. Just behind me, there's a whole lot of test gear that you can do in sort of balancing the batteries and stuff. And we actually did a video where I saved thousands of pounds. So rather than, there are a lot of garages now who don't really necessarily know what they're doing when it comes to EVs, and so they might swap out a whole battery for like 10 grand when they could just swap out 200 quid sort of contactor pack. And it's actually exactly what we did on the video, just to prove that point, if you like. And obviously you need the right training for that, you need the right equipment for that, and so obviously people like Bosch are going to have that whole service for you so that you don't actually die, frankly, which is really what it comes down to. Because the problem is, high voltage stuff is so much more dangerous. Obviously, I guess we have an instinct to not put our hands into spinning things on an engine or put your head into a supercharger, but actually with electricity, it doesn't look any different if it's 12 volt or if it's 400 volt, and it's going to kill you. That's the long and the short of it. So you can't get tired, you can't kind of get blasé about it. You've got to be really, really careful. And a couple of years back, we built the world's first all-electric ice cream van, and with that, it was kind of, to be fair, I didn't have the full training at that point, and obviously I learned quite a lot of stuff on the Bosch course, just the things that I wouldn't maybe have thought about, or things that I was already complacent about. And so it is important. But obviously, again, because it was, I wouldn't say it was cutting edge at the time, but it was certainly, there wasn't an awful lot of that stuff going on. It was quite fun and quite hard actually to get the right equipment. So of course now, thankfully, people are waking up to that. But of course that means you've got to train yourself up. You've got to make sure you've got the right gear. And of course, I guess it's going to come down in price. It's going to come down, but it's a really amazing opportunity as well. If you think, we were talking to some young ladies the other day from Northern Ireland, and they were saying, "Oh, should we get the training?" And there's actually one other person in the whole of Ireland, the whole island of Ireland,
not just Northern Ireland, the whole of Ireland,
the whole of Ireland, who was doing kind of really intensive EV stuff. And it's like, well, then you'll be splitting that market in two. So why wouldn't you do that? And they were really excited because actually it's only a couple of days course, and then a little bit of a dissertation in the case of the Bosch course. Once you've got your IMI qualification, you're away. And of course, and then there's a register you can sign up to as well. I think it's the IMI Run, which then means that the customer knows that you're safe to work on their car. And I think that's also going to be quite important going forward, is making sure that, like you wouldn't want a cowboy builder. You want somebody who knows what they're doing when they come and trash your house. So it's exactly the same with probably your pride and joy. Let's face it, next to your house, the car is your biggest expense in your life. So maybe other than a flash wedding, but you know what I mean? So it's kind of like you've got to look after that kind of stuff. And you want to make sure that the right people are working on it, and therefore you want to be in this trade. You want to be the people with the right qualifications, the right gear, and also so you know what you're doing.
I think you're right. I think I watched a seminar earlier today about the recovery industry.
Right.
And it's all about education and actually joining up and realising that EVs isn't... as long as you're careful and you know what you're dealing with. So the fact that you've gone through the training yourself, an experienced mechanic, is quite important to show other people that, isn't it?
Totally. I think the thing is interesting about the EV recovery is that, I mean, like now, I think the law is changing, thankfully, that you now have to have these kind of almost like a big bucket where you have sort of like basically attachments for hoses and all this kind of stuff, and you can stick on your sort of fire blanket. But the idea is that the car is safe and and could be put out at any point in its journey from wherever it's been collected to wherever it's going to be deposited. And then, of course, everything breakers has. There's just been a big, it's hardly a scandal, but a big news moment in Norway where, because their car park is 97% EV now, which is amazing. And it's really great place to breathe air because there is no pollution. It's amazing. But the actual, the car problem now is, of course, the EVs are now getting so old. They've had them for so long that they are falling off the road, if you like. And there was a scrapyard that was full of EV batteries, and they didn't know how to handle them. So they'd flattened the batteries on across the board. They don't even know the state of charge, but also they don't understand that all the dendrites are about to make the batteries self-combust. It's terrifying stuff. And so again, it's all about the knowledge and making sure you've got the right training. So I think more than ever, that's vital.
I think one thing that perhaps the industry needs to still understand, people outside the industry, is we still need spanner turners, don't we? Even though we go into TV, we still need spanner turners. It's quite an important part, isn't it?
Well, you need to have. I think it's got to be a mixture. And I think really when you're coming up, that's where you start. I think you because also with the electric world, you kind of, I think probably most, I wouldn't say most mechanics, but I think the thing that like the majority of mechanics are the most scared of is wiring, electricity, all that kind of stuff. And of course, that's what you need to have down completely when it comes to EVs. I mean, I think again, when you do the training courses, you're going to get brought up to the right level to have that understanding. And once you know, it's brilliant. But I think absolutely, you've got to start with sort of turn spanners. You've got to, I think the old school mechanic, if you like, is going to be something that is sort of dying out, and we're really good to try and hold on to that, because if we don't, then we're going to have a big trouble. Because I think so. Back in the day, I mean, like we used to have, I was taught by tool makers, for example. So when I was doing my engineering at school, there'd be some guy who used to work in the Merchant Navy. You can make anything out of a little lump of metal and stuff. And I think we're losing that art.
Yes.
And in the same way with cars, obviously, just swapping out an oil filter or a brain because you don't get it, it doesn't work, I'm just going to change it. That's not enough. You need to be able to do the diagnosis. You need to kind of go, actually, even though it looks like it's that, maybe it's this rattly thing over here. Maybe I should fix that first. Even just fixing, I do a lot of stuff with warranty-wise.
Yeah.
And obviously I have to look at all these claims. And there's a time and again, you get a garage that clearly don't really know what they're doing. So I had a case of the day with a Volvo where there was an axle, an e-axle, whatever I call it. So that's what it's a hybrid. That's where the electric motor is. There's also the controller and the mechanical bit. And they were trying to get a claim for all three parts. It's like, well, it's never going to be all three at the same time unless it's been pulled off the back. There's obviously another problem. And I think actually there was loads of errors to do with the bad earth. And it's like, well, of course, in an electric car, that's a real problem. So of course, start there. Because that's the cheapest thing to fix. And that's really the thing. So I think we're losing a little bit of that art. And I'm hoping somebody somewhere is doing the work to try and get that knowledge sort of back into the game. And I think maybe a lot of the youngsters, I mean, there's a lot of kids we've seen today, or sort of, well, I say kids, young people who are very keen to get into the industry and clearly curious. And I think that's a great thing. And so we just need to try and nurture that and make sure that we actually have some very useful sort of technicians going forwards.
Because we've never been more advanced in finding out the issue with the diagnostics we've got these days and things like that.
But you still have to know what that means. It's like if you have a calculator at school, and it's like you need to know if the answer you've got out of the calculator actually is even slightly in the ballpark. It's no good, it's like, 2 times 2 is 40 billion. It's like, is it though?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So just because it said so on the computer. So I think you're right, but you need to understand the fundamentals first, for sure.
But that also comes down to garages. Garages too often say, I'll clear that code for you. You need to understand why that code is there.
Yeah, you've got to fix it first. Don't just or even delete it. I mean, that's the other thing is obviously we've had many, many years now where it's been possible to actually delete codes from ECU. And we're working with a company called ECU Check, actually, who is quite interesting. They've got a load of AI stuff going on where it's brilliant, really, actually. So if you imagine you basically kind of upload the customer's cars, there's an issue with it, and you upload the map of the ECU, and then what happens is that then the AI compares it to what it should be, and then it says, well, actually, that's been deleted, that's been deleted, that's been deleted. Do you want to correct that? And it's actually quite an interesting thing because, of course, the problem is if you're selling a car, you want to know it's going to be okay and not have any issues down the line. But of course, if you then put the correct software back in, all the errors that were reason why it was turned off in the first place are going to reappear, and it's your responsibility to fix that. But also, if you're buying a car as a trader, you don't want to be stuck with a lemon. No. So it's going to be a really, really useful service. But I think it just goes to show, we're in a world now. So cars are also more and more about software. Yeah. It's no longer just about wiring and computers. It's actually now the software that you're going to have to worry about. Now with that BMW technology, if you have to pay extra for your heated seats or whatever it is, or with Tesla, updating software sort of just over from the computer, whether you want it or not, basically updating extra functionality. I mean, it's really interesting for the customer, but it makes the business of working with that stuff a lot harder. And again, it comes back to knowledge and training. So I think the future mechanic, if you like, is going to have to be good at turning spanners and understanding how kind of welding works and stuff, but also have to be good at electronics, have to be good at software, good at programming. So it's kind of an interesting, it's now a very much more eclectic kind of art than it ever used to be.
But you've also got to let the customer know.
Yes.
They're the ones
well,
paying
the customer needs to understand. Yeah, I think probably, I guess because we're all, if we're all customers of some garage somewhere, I think there is obviously an understanding that computers and AI and all this other stuff is coming, but still, you've still got to, AI isn't going to, it might well be part of the solution, but it's not going to be the thing that actually swaps out the bit that's broken. So well, not yet anyway. It'll come. Your Optimus robots may do it, but I think that's the thing. So I think if you're trying to get ahead in this game, again, it's all about knowledge. It's all about training, and of course, then putting it into practice too.
As always, this industry's never boring, is it? Never boring in the automotive industry. Thanks so much today, Ed.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Henry. I'm the marketing director at Ring Automotive, and I'm delighted to be at Automechanika to talk through our new products. The first in the new products we have to offer is our new range of tire inflators. This is the Ultra Inflate. It is an adaptation of our award-winning range. We've stylized it so it's more functional for the motorist to use. It has lovely little features like a little dust cap. It has an illuminated display, very simple to use, simple dials, very intuitive, and we're really proud of this product because it's going to be part of the Ultra family that we are building. So there's three in the category. We have standard analog range, and then we have two digital, but they are set to be really, really key sellers for us in this coming autumn-winter season. So in addition to the Ultra Inflate products we've just seen, this is our Ultra Boost range, so it's that continuation of the family of the Ultra, and these are a range of jump starters, so very unique design. Most jump starters come with a big set of block cables coming out the side. We've intricated them so you have this simple lock and load system, which makes it very easy and safe for end users to use, and very intuitive, simple button, and away you go. And we have three in the range, so 1500 is the strongest that will jumpstart a 6-litre petrol or a 3-litre diesel engine. So really powerful products, and therefore not just used for a consumer but equally for a garage mechanic to have when they need to get cars off the forecourt. They've got a jump starter to work with. Ideal for mobile mechanics as well. So now moving on to Osram brand, we're excited to announce that we've got a whole new range of Osram products that are a departure away from the traditional lighting area, but still are in that theme of lighting. So we've got a new range of torches. In particular, we've got these handheld torches. We have some that are battery operated, but the real ones that are going to be shining the light on things is the rechargeable ones. They come with a magnet on the end, so they can be used for mechanics as well, but they are a really hard-wearing, durable inspection torch. And then the real winner is we have a 3-in-1. So this is a torch that you can actually take the components off. So this head acts as a torch. Simply take it off, and you can then add a inspection lamp blade. And if you don't want to use that because you need to get down into a tight little crack within the engine bay, you've got a probe light, and it also comes with a magnet on the end here, so you can actually pick up some small screws if they're dropped. So it's a really, really practical 3-in-1 torch for mechanics. And the other exciting news around the Osram brand is our inspection light range. Traditionally, we've had these products in the Ring brand, but from October 2025, we will be transitioning to Osram. So all of the products that people have been used to using and playing around with in the Ring brand, we will actually be moving into the Osram brand, which just completes that whole package of Osram and light and being able to see. So it's just an adaptation of the advancing of the Osram brand.
Hi, I'm Ian Boyle. I'm the UK Sales Director for Heller Limited. We're here today to talk about the launch of our new braking portfolio here in the UK. We've been successfully selling this product portfolio across Europe for the last 10 years, and we're here to bring it to the UK marketplace. It's a mixture of both the wet and dry product portfolios. And this includes all the discs and drums, pads and shoes, calipers, wheel cylinders and brake hoses as well. We're looking for distribution partners for this new portfolio. It's a very saturated market, and we're here to offer something slightly different to what is already out there. If you're interested in having a discussion about becoming a distribution partner, then please pick the phone up on one of our sales team or talk to me directly.
For tools and machinery, come to Machine Mart. Experts in our 65 superstores help you choose from the vast range, including air compressors, tool chests, stoves, welders, generators, water pumps, heaters, power tools and much, much more. Or just order by phone or online. Look out for our money-saving special offers. Our free catalogue contains hundreds of price cuts and great new products. Or visit our website with thousands more specialist products in Machine Mart Extra. Shop in-store, online or call.
Okay, so you've seen me talking about improvements that we've made to our workshop. So, shall we go and have a look? So we've increased the workshop space by 50%. We've taken on another 2,000 square foot, which means that we can focus on certain areas of our business that we're developing and growing, which is why we've decided to actually focus on commercial and EV, because that's an area of growth that we see within our business. Without forgetting what we've already got, it's 4,000 square foot. And it just gives us a chance to grow and develop and to meet the customer demand that we've got in the business. Yeah, so this is our new EV and diagnostic bay. We've set this bay up really to give us an opportunity to really focus on EVs and build on our experience with those so far, and also to work with our process for doing diagnostic assessments. So we've got everything in the right area, everything together and all in one place. One of the things that we really looked for with the new part of our workshop is what part of our business was growing. So we've invested in a 6.5 metre bed ramp so we can get some really large commercials on, including motorhomes as well within that. We've got great access because we've got high roofs, high doors, so that works really well for us. And we've really planned this out around bringing commercials into our workshop. And we've also taken delivery of a new bit of kit, which is this machine here, which means we can now do off-vehicle DPF cleaning. So we see lots of diesel vehicles in our workshop, and one of the biggest challenges we have is the DPF's blocked. So it's a diesel particulate filter, which is designed to catch the soot and the ash from the engine and stop it from getting into the environment, and these block. One of our benefits of being part of the DPF Doctor network is that we actually have a really good process for diagnosing and getting to the cause of the problem, but we've also got the opportunity to now clean not only on vehicle but off vehicle using this machine. So with this new workshop, one of the benefits we have is this great big huge wall here, which gave us a great opportunity to showcase some of the brands that we're really pleased and proud to be working with. So we've got All Data, Padgett, Varta and Scheffler, and we've got more signs to come for some of the leading brands that we work with. We really want to showcase the quality products that we use within our business, and it's a great opportunity to do so with a great space above me. Whilst we've expanded into the new part of our workshop, we thought it was really important also to invest in this side to bring it all up to the same standards. So as you can see, the floors are the same now throughout, which I think makes a big difference to the working conditions and also what our customers see when they come into our business.
Don't you just love a car with a backstory? This transporter's had the parts cannon fired at it. We need to find out what's going on. Let me tell you the story. This car was sold in September last year. 3 months later it broke down just once. It had a flat battery, so this car sales said, yeah, stick an alternator on it. Hopefully that does it. 3 months later, this happened again. They're driving along, no warning lights come on, nothing's happening, no ABS lights or anything like that, and it just cuts out, they go to it, the battery's dead. We've had nothing to do with this car. So car sales have taken it straight back to the garage, we've done the alternator, so they've replaced the alternator again. So around February time, it's happened again. So they've replaced the alternator, still the same. A couple of months later, it's gone down. They put a genuine alternator on it now, phoned us up, still not charging. So they put a brand new battery on it as well now. So it's come down to us. We're going to have a look into it, find out what's going on, and hopefully it's not charging. So when it left them, it was no charging, no nothing. I was expecting a battery light to be coming on, but they said there's no battery light, no warning, no nothing. So let's get into it. So the only thing we noticed was the DPF light was on. So it's not going to have anything to do with it, but is that a cause of the battery going low or what we're saying? But there's no talk about the DPF light on. That could have been on for 3 or 4 months. Who knows? Customer might know about that and they've got something going on with it. I don't know. But all we're looking at is a charging fault. So let's see what voltage we got in the battery. So I'm going to change these probes for crocodile clips. Always a lot better on batteries. Let's see what we've got. 12.27, should be about 12.7 volts charge, so it's definitely not had a good charge for a while. Right, start it up, see what it's doing. Well, that's handy, it's charging. Right, I'm going to phone the garage who fitted the alternator, find out when the last time it's definitely not charging. Did it need to give it a road test? Did it need to get hot? Was it the first time it ever done it? I don't know. So let's find out about that. Let's find out about the DPF light. We'll get some info, gain some evidence, and then we'll come back to it. So we phoned the garage up, found out what's going on. From the time they fitted that alternator and put that battery on, it was not charging at all the time they've had it. It's come down here, they've driven it down, so something's obviously got disturbed, it started charging. They did say they constantly had a generator code listed in the systems. So I think that's the first thing we're going to go to. We're going to check what's going on, see if we've got any fault codes in there for that. If we've got something to go on, hopefully we'll be able to find it. But again, if we've lost the fault now, and it only happens once every 3 months, what's the chance of us finding it? But we've got to do something, it's in the workshop. So also, DPF light wasn't on when it left them. It must have just pinged on now. So is it something completely different? Is that related? Who knows? So let's have a look. Let's get it scanned and see what we can find. Right, so we've got in engine electronics, passive sporadic, fuel temperature sensor A. So that's going to be why our DPF light's on. And we've got a code in battery regulation, no signal communication, 02252 for generator. So that's where we're going to be looking at first. So what we're going to do, we're going to clear both codes, give it a start, run it up a couple of times and restart it, see if we've got the codes back. The evidence we have got PCM has got P0181 fuel temp, and that's a permanent fault. And we have got battery reg has got 02252 COM fault with the alternator, and that's permanent. History 2 times alts, aftermarket even, aftermarket alt, and 1 times gen alt. So that's what we're up to so far. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at a diagram. These two are not going to be related. It's weird that this one's happened, but we can look through that one at another time. Got to get authorization for it for the start. But the comms fault with the alternator, let's see how that works, what communication we got. I assume it's going to be a Limbus one. So let's get a diagram up, have a look through that, and then we'll work out a process of what we need to do. It is a Limbus controlled alternator, so we've got a diagram up. We're going to check out all the pin numbers, see where it goes to, and then we can make some sort of plan. So let me just show you where it starts and ends. So obviously we've got an alternator fault. Pin C, C is alternator, pin 1. There's multiple different variations for models, etc. But yeah, pin 1 is Limbus. It comes up, it actually splits. It's going to be a splice connection. It goes off to J367, which is J367. That's your battery monitor. That'll be the part on the battery earth. And then it goes back down and it goes to J519, which is onboard supply control unit. That's going to be your body control. So body control, plug T73B, pin 37. So that's what plug it is. That is what pin it is. Then it comes down, so we should have Limbus down this end, Limbus on the battery control, battery monitor, and LIN here. So first thing we're going to do is check that we've got a good LIN signal to the alternator. So the whiteboards, we've used the whiteboards up here now and again, but we want to start using it a bit more, especially where we're training Barney and stuff. It's easier to get this evidence in history, etc. Again, go check Mechanic Mindset out. There's a multimeter we've been using. It's Mechanic Mindset, very nice. They talk about all this, so we've got our evidence, got our history. So, all right, so the test we're going to do, we've got for body control or whatever they call it, but BCM, we're looking at plug T73B. Stroke 37, and that tells us on here there's a 73 pin connector in white. So white. So that's that. Then it goes down, pin 1 on the alternator or generator. Pin 1, and we know it's yellow and green, or green and yellow, and it's pin 1 on battery monitor. So we're not going to just go back and forth with diagrams anymore. As long as that's correct, what we got, we know we're going to have a Limbus on the alternator, Limbus on the battery monitor, and then back to body control.
Today we're at Coleg Menai in North Wales, where the students have been building a Targa rally car. Let's see how they're getting on.
What makes this unique is instead of just assembling the car, they get to know each and every component of the vehicle. TechMate have been fantastic by providing technical support to our learners and also staff, which will further enrich their learning moving forward.
The level of support from Napa has been absolutely fantastic. They've supplied us with all the parts that we need for this project that the learners are working on, and it's also the technical aspects of the support that the company can give as well.
By working with Napa parts, it teaches the students the importance of working to a set standard given out by all manufacturers.
They can appreciate the quality of using genuine motorsport industry parts, and they just get that overall feel for the specialism involved, not just in the building a race car, but everything that goes on behind the scenes.
It's been really good working on this car. I think the best part about it is actually working as a team on the car and like stripping everything and actually getting to know how a car works.
It's more engaging because you're not sat in a classroom all the time. I don't think we could have had this without Napa. I think definitely with the supply of parts has been one of the biggest helps. Their technical knowledge that they've given us is also, a massive part just to help us into what we're doing. This car, it was worn out state, but with all these brilliant parts like suspension, exhaust manifolds, brakes, it's phenomenal to get all of this just to let us build a brilliant little rally car.
I trusted that for parts and I'm so excited to put them on the car.
I think they're obviously really good quality brand, and it's a fantastic partnership to have. It really is. It benefits us greatly.
The quality of it just knows that the final product is going to be, what we want it to be. It's all going to come together exactly how we want it.
Having TechMate involved is allowing us to take the next step.
With thanks to Napa for the donation of parts and the students successfully completing this project, it has opened their eyes to different varying sectors within the automotive industry.
It's something bigger for them. They can see the wider picture, they can see where they can lead them, they can see the industry.
Nathan, we see each other at many events.
All the time.
We do, and it's important to be at the events, but why is it important that you're at the events?
Well, I'm trying to be as many events as possible. This is one of the first body events that I've come to. You just never know. You just never know. And for me, really fortunate this one's on my doorstep, so I live around the corner from here. So when I found out it was on and one of the guys that I'm doing some work with was coming, just made sense. And I've probably spoken to about 3 or 4 suppliers, and there's something there, whether that's an opportunity one way or the other, whether that's a conversation, whether that's a bit of pipeline that might be laid for the future. You've got to get to them.
But you're always at the event, yet you're very successful. There's a connection there, isn't there, at the moment? Because we are changing the garage market. Yeah. We are becoming a better place to be.
Yeah.
You're at the forefront of that because you attend the events.
Yeah, well, the events is definitely one of them. Being in the mix, backing yourself with everything that you say and do, just trusting your own ability to sort of learn a little bit more, grow a little bit quicker, move a bit faster, and that's just where it's got to be. It's if it almost feels like there's no other way.
But what we need to get to other garages, about 9,500 garages we don't see at these events.
Okay.
They need to come out and see these events.
Yeah,
they need to come out and experience it, don't they?
Yeah, no, and it's just come and view to start with. Start consuming with your eyes, as well as you can catch a lot of stuff on video. And while it's amazing, the context, what you will pull from video will only be what you'll get from your environment that you're in while you're watching the video.
Yeah.
It's never as good as being in the environment. So yeah, you've got to get at these events. You've got to be speaking to the people and start connecting dots you wouldn't be connecting without being here.
And we've just come out of the best Automechanika ever in the UK, I think it's fair to say.
Very good, very, very good.
What did you get from that event?
Again, so much for me, really fortunate to start to get some recognition on the other side of it now, which I didn't really do it for that, but it's really cool to sort of gives you a bit more fuel, doesn't it? To sort of just go and get more content produced. And now from a sort of consumer side, again, just at scale, people coming from all over the world. Again, you just don't get that at many other events. So spoiled, really, at the minute it feels compared to where it's been.
And your podcast, it's obviously growing, and as we all are in the digital game, we're growing. But it's a great podcast because it's actually what you're experiencing, isn't it?
It's real.
It's not
it's real. Yeah.
Be real, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just being real. It's showing people that sometimes it's not as great as it all seems on the outside, and it's just how we're navigating the journey, the ups, the downs.
What was your biggest takeaway from Automechanika?
Biggest takeaway from Automechanika is that I probably want to stand next year. Brilliant. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know what I'd be standing doing, but I get lots of people asking me to stand at their stand. I was like, forget this. I'm going to get a stand where I can sit down and have my own place. I get people to stand at my stand.
It is, and it's showing people what you do. It's show and tell, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
When we start primary school, they tell you show and tell. Yeah. Just continue what they tell you primary school.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on this thing at the minute where I'm just really asking people to back themselves in what they do. Just back yourself. And it seems like an obvious thing to do, but like if you don't go in with absolute confidence that you can be here to deliver some value, everyone just walks by all the time. Yeah. Head down, walking by, not a clue what's going on. Get your head up and back yourself.
And while we're on about the shows and everything and people looking at things, so at Tech Fest last week in Coventry.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
What do you make of that? Completely different to any other event.
Yeah. That one's really unique because that's proper hospitality. That one is. Yeah. Like real hospitality, and GSF has done an amazing job of putting that together, knowing that get everyone here, spend a lot of energy and time getting people to the event, and it's just once you're there, you're taken care of to a level which the events industry haven't really seen, and that's amazing. It's amazing.
The time is different as well.
Yeah, the time's different. You still can get your day in, so you don't lose your day. So, and again, that means a massive deal. And now they've put 3 locations on, so north, central, and south. So Wembley's coming up next, isn't it?
We have a little room there for you.
Yeah,
there's 5 next year.
Wow, that'd be really cool, wouldn't it? That's 5 events I'm going to have to turn up to again. No, I'm joking. I absolutely love. I've got a lot of time for my suppliers, all of them really. I try not to sit in one camp too heavy, just because as a business and a business owner, we need supply from everyone all at different times. So making sure that we're maintaining and growing our relationship with everyone's really important. So again, turning up at somebody else's event makes them feel supported. Yeah, and that's more important. I think when we're going to these events, it's like, what can I take? It's like, how about you give? Because what you give, you will get back in an abundance.
Well, it's the philosophy has to be. You have to be talking to people to build those relationships, and not always want something off them.
Yeah, completely. It's exactly that.
Straight to the battery monitor. So let's show you what we've done. Backprobed into the battery monitor, straight to the earth, and we have got a nice signal. So backprobed onto there. That one's good. Now we're going to have to go down to the alternator. I'm going to leave it set up like that. Just backprobe into it and run a fly lead up so we can connect up, and then we'll make sure we're all good. So just going to quickly show you what the Think Car probe shows up like on the limb bus as well. Very similar. You know, if you're just doing basic checks and you've been running around with your probe anyway, you can see your limb bus on that. So let's just show you. So just for a basic check, you know, you're seeing it's getting a signal. You can't zoom in or make sure it's as clear as you'd like. So yeah, just for a quick check, it's well worth having, you know. Just flick it over to your frequency. This isn't an oscilloscope. This is just a graphing meter. For how quickly that's going, that's a very fast graphing meter. They're both good little tools, well worth having in your toolbox, but you don't need a flash, pico, etc. to go for basic checks, you know. So yeah, go check them out. Think Car UK, nice little tool. So we've back pinned down on the alternator. Got fly lead coming up, connected up exactly the same to the scope, and we've got no signal. Look at that. So that's dead. It means that we don't have to go back into the car. We don't need to go to body control. We know from body control up to battery monitor is okay. So that way is okay. It's wherever it joins or goes down to the engine, it's going to be somewhere down there. I mean, it's 9 times out of 10 it's on the engine where it's wobbling and stuff. So we're going to strip it down a bit so we can get to the loom, see which way it goes. But what I think I'll do, need to have a look at that battery temperature sensor. It could have a bad plug with some bad corrosion on it or something. So I'm going to find out what sensor it is, find out what voltage we've got there, find out why that's doing that, and we'll look at both of them at the same time. Because if it's in the engine loom, I don't want to disturb it, get it all done, then have a look at that. So we'll have a quick look at it. They haven't asked us to, but it wasn't on when the customers dropped it off to the garage, so they're going to want it done. So we'll have a look at that, see what voltages we've got, make a decision from there. So we checked it all through. We've got in the temperature, it's at -40 on the fuel temperature. We actually checked and we found this plug, fuel temperature sensor, took it apart. She's got a little bit of green on her, so we're going to give that a little clean up. Hopefully that'll bring it back up and she'll be good. Cleaning that up has worked. We're down to 16.25 degrees now, so that's all okay. So nothing to do with the job what we're looking at for the alternator. So, but it's always worth checking. It could be something as basic as that. It could have knocked it off when they're fitting the alternator, disturbed it or whatever, or it could be completely linked and it will give us an idea. So well worth doing. But now what we've got is a limb bus on the alternator. We need to find out where that's broken and try and get it repaired. So, right, let's get it done. He's a genius. Right, let's show you. All we done, we dropped the under tray down. Done a little dance there, didn't I? And luckily, I just couldn't see anything from the top. But luckily, under here, loom comes along from the alternator. I've opened it up there, and there's the brake there. So, yeah, luckily we didn't have to open too much up. Or, Simon Parkinson, if you're watching this, didn't need to use the old beep beep beep. Oh, in fact, I haven't ordered one. I do a good little wire tester. Simon Parkinson, he loves using them. But the one I use, it's all packed away and stuff, but they do some cheaper ones. So we're going to order a couple of them, have them right in your toolbox so we can, yeah, it's just a good signal generator to be able to find along a loom. But yeah, luckily, first place we opened up, it was in there. So I'm going to get that repaired. I'll show you the limb bus working. That should clear the code for the generator. And then that should be done. But I mean, problem is, it's already charging. So the alternator must have gone into a default state of charge. Yeah, I wonder why that's done that. So yeah, it must have defaulted. So yeah, quite a weird one. But I'm going to get that repaired. And we'll show you it working. Right, let's finish this one off. So, a bit of heat shrink. That is soldering iron I use. 18 volt, it is Ryobi, it's got a nice thick tip on it. I do a thinner one if you need it, but I don't like all the little flame ones, what they do. The exhaust on them gets very hot and you can't really determine where it is. So we use blowtorch for the heat shrink, but it's controlled, you know. I'll be happy to run that, you know, it's not going to get too hot. You know where it's going, but then the gas butane ones, they seem to get very hot as well. Even when you turn them down a bit, it burns the flux off the solder quite quickly. So I do like this one. Lovely little kit. Not very dear, and you can buy a couple of aftermarket batteries with a charger quite cheaply, and yeah, and crack a little bit of kit. So right, let's get this soldered up. Dirty hands again, no fun. So we repaired that wiring, and look at that. Bang on. So yeah, that's brought that back on. All we've got to do now is check all the fault codes, clear everything down, make sure that's all okay, and yeah, that'll be another one done. So 2 faults, 1 issue. Obviously, go back to the board. It was meant to come in non-charging at all. It's come in charging with an engine light on, completely different fault. So we've had to go through it. We've gone through the history of it, see what's gone on, see what they've done, double check that. So if you do get one in from a customer what's been to a garage, try and speak to the garage, because what they say, one, the garage put it in layman's terms to the customers. Customers can't always grip that. So if you can go back to the original garage, after that, obviously go to your evidence, see what you've got available, check your fault codes, see exactly what you've got going on. This one coming charging, no battery light on. So, but we still need to have a look into it, add a couple of fault codes. We've got both of them done. We've gone through the diagrams, written down what we had, found out exactly what points to test before we even started on the car. Make sure we knew what we was meant to have, where we was meant to have it, confirmed it, we didn't have it there, found a broken wire. Job's carrot.
unleash the power within on a track that keeps changing. Now, let's see how you respond to the twists and turns ahead. Throw to my left. These guys are too good. Let's push it. Take them right. Take them right. Shift again.
You ready?
Let's do this.
Not bad. Let's go again.
Hi, I'm Ravi from Autowave. In this video we're going to show you a Peugeot Boxer 2023 and the cloning of the transponder. So the customer just wants a manual key. I'm going to use an exhaust super chip. We've already cut the key. It's a SIP22. It's a Fiat style key, and we're going to go ahead and clone using the Exhaust Key Tool Max Pro. Okay, so we've got the original key for the vehicle, and I'll just show you that it starts the vehicle absolutely fine. That's all starting, and obviously I've got a blank key here with no transponder in, and we're going to use the exhaust super chip. So on the main screen of the Key Tool Max, I'm going to press transponder clone. So we're going to put the original key inside and press read transponder. So we're going to read the transponder to ensure that the transponder is actually clonable or not. As you can see, it's 46 type and it says clone status clonable. So I'm going to hit clone. Gives you the instructions, which essentially is you put the original key in, you then sniff the data, put the original key back in, and then put your super chip in. This device is connected to our Wi-Fi, so the online calculation is done via Wi-Fi. So press start clone. It's got all of these options. 46 transponder clone is what we need to use. So I hit that, and it says on here, put the original car key into the coil. So I've still got the original key in there, and now this device is just checking the key. Okay, it's checking the internet. So it asks us all of these different things. Now it's an original key, and that's the recommendation that we would always have. So press original key, and now it's going to say data collecting. So I'm putting the antenna near the coil. So put the original key in, and obviously it says data collecting on the screen, and it's a data acquisition complete. It very quickly flicked to that. So now I'm going to take that out, and it says put the original key back into the coil. I'm going to put the original key into here. So it says checking key, password success, query calculation result, all good. So now I'm going to put my super chip inside. It's checking for a super chip, and as soon as it detects that chip, it's going to write the data. Detected super chip, writing data. So copy successfully. Now if I wanted to go ahead and clone another one, I'd press continue. If I wanted to just finish the process, I'd press complete. So now if I was to just read the transponder, this is the one that we've just cloned. It's got the ID which ends in C020. If I was to just read the original and press read transponder, if we read the original transponder, it's also C02. So that's cloned, it's cloned the chip, so it's got the same chip ID as well as other data as well. So now if I drop this chip inside the key, and I'll just show you without the chip inside, so there's no chip in here. I'm going to go and try and start the vehicle. It just cranks and then stops, nothing. If I was to put the chip inside, that way, that's all nicely in. Try and start the vehicle, fire straight up. So we've cloned that transponder within a matter of minutes using the Exhaust Key Tool Max.
We're here today to celebrate a momentous occasion. 50 years of Niterra UK Limited and our iconic NGK ignition parts and NTK vehicle electronics brands. This isn't just a birthday party, it's a celebration of half a century of unwavering commitment, continued innovation and deep-rooted partnerships within the UK aftermarket. Our journey began in 1975, from a small warehouse startup business to securing long-term partnerships with some of the most revered names in automotive excellence. Jaguar, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, BMW, to name but a few. And by 1993, NGK achieved #1 status in the UK spark plug market, a position of leadership that we proudly hold today. Motorsport has been integral to the Niterra story, and it's one of the reasons why we are so privileged to bring you this stunning JPS Lotus today. So for 50 years we've delivered performance and reliability at the highest levels of competition. Our spark plugs have ignited the dreams of champions, from Formula One with Lotus and Ferrari, securing multiple drivers and constructors world championships, to British World Superbike Championships, Speedway and the grueling World Rally Championship stages. These victories aren't just about crossing the finishing line. They highlight our relentless commitment to precision, quality and innovation. These pillars inspire trust and respect in the automotive aftermarket. Our journey of growth extends beyond the racetrack. We've expanded our product portfolio, evolving from our original spark plug range to offer a comprehensive array of ignition parts, oxygen sensors, glow plugs and engine management components. I'm incredibly proud of this diversification. The introduction of NGK ignition coils, NTK sensors and most recently EGR valves marks our commitment to meeting the evolving needs of our customers and the industry. At the heart of our success lies something truly special, our relationship with you, our customers. As we celebrate this milestone, we're not just looking back, we're gazing forward to the next 50 years with excitement and determination. The automotive industry is changing rapidly, especially with the shift towards alternatively fueled vehicles. But Niterra is ready. We are actively exploring new technologies, new product lines and business acquisition to ensure we remain at the forefront of innovation. Our core mission, however, remains constant: to support our customers, provide the highest quality products and uphold our reputation as a trusted partner. I want to express my deepest gratitude. We wouldn't be here without you, without the support, loyalty and trust of our motor factors, workshops and garage professionals. As we look into our past and our future over these 50 years, we notice a very similar trend with the growth of the automotive industry. What have you seen in your time in the industry, Mark?
I think when you look at the market and you look at where we are now, the big thing about the automotive aftermarket is resilience and how we can keep looking after the businesses that are pioneering, that are trying to keep pushing forward the boundaries. And that's just not businesses, but it's people as well. So I think the aftermarket or the automotive industry always manages to find its place and it will continue to do so in a net zero environment.
Yeah, certainly for Niterra we've seen a very positive evolution in the automotive sector from both garages and motor factors, which is very much aligned to our growth. Again, these long-standing companies, which are also our customers, have also grown and evolved with Niterra over these last years. I think the UK market has a knack for engaging with latest technology and offers the customer the best products and market-leading services. Again, whether that's all the benefits of precious metal spark plugs or new engine management focus, that ability to adapt is a very special skill, and I think it's something that Niterra has mastered. Again, from your perspective, what do you think the next 50 years will look like now?
I think you're going to see different habits, changing habits, driving habits are going to change. And I think what's going to happen is that you'll see different regulations in the marketplace as well. And the aftermarket engineers a lot of problems away. So providing we continue to innovate, companies like Niterra continue to lead the market in innovation and pioneering, then I think what we'll do is we'll always be in a pretty safe place. And I think that when you have the passion and the enthusiasm of brands like yourselves, and that filters right the way through to the market, through distributors and garages, and we're seeing at IAAF more and more garages really wanting to leave the industry better than when they first arrived, and I think that really aligns with your values as well. So here's to the next 50 years.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.